Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to Food for Thought Fridays, where we reveal success tools using knowledge, insights, and experiences. And we put all of that in the pot and give you food for thought. And also, not only for thought, but to take action. So today, the queen that's to my left is Queen Taese. Now, Queen Taese has been operating and running a homeschool, successful homeschool, for 22 years. So, Queen Taese, tell us, first of all, what's the name of your homeschool?
Homeschool is called Roots to Fruits, Black Homeschool Excellence.
There you go. And why did you decide to homeschool your children?
The vision that I had for my family, for my children, and knowing that the public school was not going to fulfill that. And so setting high goals, even from being pregnant and knowing, this is my obligation to make sure that they reach their highest potential, their ultimate genius. And at that time, I didn't know all of what that looked like, but I knew that, I had to walk that walk to make that happen.
Yeah. And I totally dig it because I could relate. Although I didn't have a homeschool, I did run a youth program, which I was the co-founder and head instructor. And it was simply to just make up for the fact that the public school system was not teaching our children certain things.
Yes.
So,
and never will, and really, as African people, we have always relied on ourselves with the foundation of our culture and who we are. We've always worked collectively for our youth, for our families. It's always been an interactive thing and something that we came together to do to pass on who we were as a people, our ways of life, our ways of living, and the ultimate genius that we see all around us. And when we speak about our past, the things that we always talk about, we used to be kings and queens and all of this still resides within us. It's just taking the formula to bring that into fruition, and it can only start with us and our people. So.
Yeah, definitely. Now, a concern that people have about homeschooling their children is the social factor. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, what I have to say is we are a social people as African people. We know that. But it really comes down to who we want to socialize with. And so when you look at socialization, there's more that is taught through socialization than anything else. Just by being around each other, just by interacting with each other. And we can see that for thousands of years. And so being strategic about who we allow our children to socialize with and who we socialize with, and the influence, it all comes down to their environment, and their environment is not just, the trees around you, the building you're in, but it's the people.
Right.
So, really taking note and looking at strategically what makes sense. If we want to raise entrepreneurs, if we want to raise scholars, you have to keep them around that mindset, or at least other parents who have children who aspire in action, not just aspire in thought, but aspire in action to bring that into fruition. And you have a collective that you can work together with to produce those seeds and nourish them and allow them to germinate in the greatest of ways.
Okay. And for anybody who's thinking about starting a homeschool, or they may be struggling with homeschooling,
yes,
what advice would you have, or what suggestions would you have for them?
Well, one of the main suggestions would be clarity.
Okay.
Being clear about what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it. Because a lot of times we jump on the bandwagon with a lot of different things, or they're homeschooling, but you really have to create a plan of action, not just a plan. And there is a distinction, a plan of action and a plan. A plan is more something you just write down on paper, you think about it, looks good. But a plan of action is actually looking at the plan you've created and deciding on different ways on how to bring that into fruition. So you can really see what you have and what you need to find or link with and connect with. The resources, because we are our greatest resource, as
Absolutely.
you know. So everything, the more we are able to create a clear plan, clear goals, the more we can attract, as we learned today, right?
Yes.
All of what we need to make all that happen. And then in addition to that, finding a positive support system that is like-minded, that is culturally based, African-centered, I say that, and some people agree, they don't agree, but to me, our culture is the essence of our spirituality, of who we are. And if that's not the basis and the foundation, then we can never rear children to solve the problems of our own community. Because I'm so tired of seeing you see on Facebook all the different African scholars that are doing this, and a lot of our wonderful young people who just are so brilliant, but yet we are so excited about watching them lend their services to those that don't do for us, don't look like us. And so it's equally as high of a responsibility to make sure that we're rearing them in a way that they will solve the problems of our community, and not just give them away to Monsanto and General Motors, all these different companies that, that want our genius.
Right.
So I think that's key as well. And then also the detoxification of our own indoctrination. Because if we're talking about rearing them to the highest degree, to the highest standard, we have to equally be active learners. As parents, as educators, the relationship with our children, our grandchildren, the children of the community is reciprocal. So everyone who comes into our lives, they come to teach us as well. Usually we hear about, we got to teach the children, but we also have to be open to receiving and learning and growing through that experience. And when we do that, it just makes for such a better situation, and it allows us to know that we are still children in our own right, and we still have so much to learn. We might say, I'm a man, I'm a woman, but ultimately, growing never stops.
That's right.
And so really looking at the different things, I always say like the tiny fibers that create it. I do that with my children. I say, see this sweater right here, and the tiny fibers that make up this sweater. And if you look at each different fiber and you strategically plan each different thing and understand how it's woven together, then you can look at each thing and dissect it, and you can say, okay, we need to put this here, we need to put that here, down to the food, down to the time you go to sleep, down to who you're around, down to what you read, down to the colors you wear. Now there's a science to everything, as you know. So really the more we can dive into the sciences, the more we can dive into all the different factors that go into producing, an amazing, holistic, well-rounded, child, which is to, carry on generations to come, and look at it from a perspective of intergenerational wealth that has to carry forward, and how we don't have any more time. Time is up. We got to get it right now.
That's right.
We have to, I always say, we wait for the perfect moment, but the time is now. And so we got to adapt, and we got to adjust wherever is needed to make it happen. There's no excuses, only results. If you really want it, if we really want to make change, the only real change that is going to carry on is through our students, through our children.
There you have it. Sister Queen Taese running a successful, and I've seen her in action, this is serious, a successful homeschool for 22 years.
And love it. Love it.
Right.
My thing is love the journey, love the ups. You're going to have your challenges, your triumphs. Believe me, out of the 22 years, however many years I've been homeschooling now, there has been so many ups and downs. There's been times that, in the beginning, I didn't know of anyone like me that was doing it. It was just kind of like, okay, how am I going? Well, we'll figure it out. And we figured it out along the way, and then eventually we came and connected with a African-centered homeschool group in the Bronx. And then from there, that grew, and then we, everything's just, the more you take a step forward, the more the universe opens up for what you do. So I just, I encourage each and every one of us, even if your child is not homeschooled, if they're in a public school, do what you can at this moment.
That's right. And
create a plan, just like the public school has a plan for our children, and they create a start to finish. We need to create a start to finish, even if they're in public school, private school, if they're homeschooled, no matter what it is. So definitely, check out Liberated Minds. It's liberatedmindsexpo.com. Got to get y'all there again.
No doubt.
And, we do a conference here in Atlanta every third weekend in July, but we also have ongoing resources. If you're thinking about starting a homeschool, it's in you for a reason. Ancestors put it there for a reason.
That's right.
So let's just, get together, get the resources, get whatever we need to make it happen. Like I said, no excuses, only results. The time is now. I appreciate you.
There we go.
It's been beautiful this weekend so far, powerful weekend.
Yeah.
And so much to learn, so much more to do, and I'm just eager and excited to continue and, to know wonderful people like you and your family.
Likewise.
Who has been at it as long as I've known you.
Know it.
And that's just how it is, how we roll.
And like I said, she operates a full-time homeschool. If you don't have the time for a full-time homeschool, then do what we did. We operated a Saturday school.
Absolutely.
You Can't do it every Saturday, do it once a month. But the
You
point
can.
is, do something.
Yes.
So, thank you for tuning in to Food for Thought. Everybody who subscribed and is sharing the videos, much appreciated. And remember, continue to grow and glow. Peace.
Hey, peace.